Hello! Today on Larissa's Kitchen, we're going to be making Black Russian Brownies. Now, as the name implies, these brownies are going to have alcohol in them, but because we bake the brownies, the alcohol will get cooked out. Now, the two alcohols that we will be using to flavor these brownies are, of course, Kahlua and vodka. And those two alcohols will give these brownies a bit of a bitter flavor, and in fact, my kids don't particularly care for these brownies because of that bitter flavor. Now, these brownies are made from scratch, and you're going to need a few ingredients, but it's not going to be that difficult. So let's get started. First off, you are going to need 1 cup of butter, along with 4 ounces of unsweetened chocolate, and I do like Ghirardelli best. You're also going to need 3/4 of a teaspoon of fresh cracked black pepper. Now we're going to put this all in the top of our double boiler. We're going to melt it, and then we're going to take it off the heat and let it come to room temperature. Alright, while our chocolate is melting, this is a good time to prepare our pan. You need a 9 by 13 inch cake pan, and we want to make sure that this comes out completely. So I have used a couple different pieces of parchment paper to make sure that I go all the way up both sides and all the way across the bottom. Now I've also sprayed this with non-stick cooking spray as well. Alright, this is almost completely melted. I've just got a couple of small tiny hunks of chocolate in here. So we'll go ahead and get this turned off, and then we'll take it out. And again, we want this on a towel so that we don't get water in anything. Alright, so we'll let this sit and come to room temperature. Alright, while we're letting our chocolate come to room temperature, this is a good time to get our oven going. We want to make sure that our oven is completely preheated to 350 degrees before we get any of the rest of this put together, because we don't want to let our brownies sit in the pan unbaked before they go in the oven. After the chocolate's cooled, we're going to mix together 1½ cups of white sugar, along with 4 eggs that have been lightly beaten, and about 1½ teaspoons of vanilla. We're going to mix that together until it's nice and smooth. Once we have the sugar and egg mixture smooth, we're going to go ahead and add back in our cooled chocolate mixture along with our 2 alcohols, 2 tablespoons of vodka and about 1/3 cup of Kahlua. And we're going to combine that until it's smooth. After we've got the chocolate and the sugar mixture smooth, we're going to go ahead and add in 1 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour, and I've got 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder in there. Once that's all been mixed together and it's smooth, we are going to add in about 1 cup of chopped walnuts. You could use almonds if you like, but I like walnuts best. Now, like with all flours, we don't want to overmix this too much because it will get hard. Alright, now the nuts. Alright, my stove is preheated. So let's go ahead and get these in here for 25 minutes. Alright, timer's gone off, so let's go ahead and get these out of here. We are going to let them sit on the top of the stove and cool for about 30 minutes before we even attempt to put them on a cooling rack. Alright, we're getting ready to take these brownies out of this pan and cut them and taste them. Now, part of the reason we put this parchment paper in here is because it makes it so much easier to get these out of the pan once they're completely cool. Okay, now if you're like me, I like inside pieces on my brownies, and I can make the entire pan an inside piece just by going through and taking off the edge of the brownie. Now we definitely can eat this, it's delicious. And of course the easiest thing to cut brownies with is a pizza cutter. Alright, so let me go ahead and move some of these. Cut a row here. I'm going to cut a couple rows. Okay, and I'm going to cut them at an angle so that our brownies are a little more trapezoid shaped. Okay. Now we're going to just garnish this with just a little bit of powdered sugar. All right, let's give this a taste. Oh, I can taste the alcohol. These are delicious.